Dobar dan poštovani gledaoci, dobrodošli u novu epizodu podcasta Arhitekta. Nakon više nego uspešnih predavanja na forumu Arhitekta imamo jednog od inostranih gostiju koji će nam ispričati nešto interesantno vezano za svoje iskustva u studiju Kengo Kuma i saradnici. Translated to English, we have our next guest, the Nicola Maniero from Kengo Kuma and Associates studio.
Yes.
Nicola, working in Kengo Kuma and Associates studio is something that many architects from Serbia are wishing for. I saw on the internet that you have a list of all of us that are working in the studio, but even the name of studio is Kengo Kuma by his founder. His name is not on the top or something like that because you are put all the names in alphabetic.
Yes.
His name is Kengo Kume and he's on the letter K. Tell us more about your experience in working in that kind of studio.
Well, I arrived there in 2010. My intention was to stay there a few months. I was working at the time in an office in Venice and then discussing with my previous boss, let's say. We agreed in having experience abroad. So the idea was to go either in Denmark or something more different than our culture, such as Japan. So in the end, I decided for Japan. Again, I went there for a few months with a tourist visa, and the aim was directly to go for Kengo Kuma and Associates. So I stayed there 3 months. I enjoyed so much. I really loved the office. I loved the city. I mean, I come from Venice, so you can imagine the impact of coming from Venice, a small town, and then arriving to Japan. The impact was enormous. Was very impressive because again, the difference from the city is like another world. And I enjoyed so much that I decided to continue and to stay there longer. So I renovate my visa, and to renovate the visa with another tourist visa, you must leave the country and then come back. But I didn't want to go back to Venice because, the cost of the ticket was too expensive. So the only way that I found to step out of the country and come back again was going to Seoul. So I went to Korea.
Korea, South Korea.
Yes, I went to Korea. I spent a few days there. It was freezing because it was winter. And I didn't have money, so I got paid only with the salary of an intern at the office at that time. So I came back to Japan and extended the period of my stay for another 3 months. And after that, the office asked me to stay longer as an employee. But to do that one, you need to pass an exam. So there is an exam in the office. It's quite tough. It takes, you need to start at 10 in the morning and it ends at 10 in the night. It's 12 hours exam. Yeah. So
Physical, intellectual?
Well, you need to do a project. They give you a topic, they give you a program, and you need to develop a project in those 12 hours, including a maquette, including a model, physical model.
All that in 12 hours?
All that in 12 hours.
In continuum?
Yeah, in continuum, not in split in several days. Just from 10 in the morning to 10 in the night, you do the entire project.
You can eat?
Yeah, well, it's up to you. You can spend
it's up to you.
But yes, you do very fast in order to not to take too much time from your, project.
Eating or something.
Yes.
You must work, yeah.
But yeah, the idea is that you present the project then at 10 p.m. directly to Kuma-san. So he's there.
He's coming in 10 p.m. and...
Yeah, you present your job, your project to him. And basically you get selected by 3 things, basically. Your portfolio and your CV, how you perform in the exam, And the third part is like how you perform during the period you spend as an intern. So based on these three elements, you get the job or not. So yeah, for me it was really important because in order to come to Japan, again, I didn't have the money to travel at that time, so I had to sell my Vespa. So, so I was very attached to it, but you know, there is something more important. So in the end of the day, I mean, I succeeded in my dream to arrive to Japan. Again, I was supposed to stay a few months because my office in Venice was waiting for me. But I told them, well, my plans has changed. They have changed. So I decided to stay longer. They told me like, do what is the best for you. And I stayed. Now it has been 14 years.
14 years.
So many things has changed from the moment I arrived until now. When I arrived, we were just in 50 people. Everybody knew each other. It was very like almost a family. We had one main building, which is the same building that remains there as a main building. And then we have 4 annexes, we call it. It's like, it was like working in an apartment because the 4 annexes is like spread out around the office. And then eventually the office decided to combine all these annexes in one tower. So we have now the office is split in 2 buildings. One is the main building, the bi-cube, and then the other one is like the tower. So I think we have 5-6 floors now in the tower. And now the office passed from 50 people to 350 only in Japan. So it grew up quite quickly in a very short time.
7 times more.
Only in Japan. Then we have the office. Yeah. Okay. Plus the office in Paris, Shanghai, Beijing, and now in Korea. So yeah, the office kind of grew up quite quickly.
But you do not want to go to the offices in Europe. You want to stay in Japan.
I have to say that the brain, the core, and the heart of the office is Tokyo. Of course, there are other offices, and Kuma-san travel quite a lot, goes to those offices as well. But the original one and the one that, I don't know, for me was the most important was to work in Tokyo. Also, I prefer Tokyo rather than Paris. I prefer Tokyo rather than Chinese cities. They are beautiful, but it's not like Tokyo. Tokyo is something unique. So, yeah.
In the past, we were learning about that in our art history classes. People were coming from all parts of Europe in 19th century, 18th century, 19th century. After that, from all parts of the world to Italy to explore the architecture, old architecture from the antique. After that, from Renaissance period. After that, from Baroque period or something like that. But all the people were coming in Italy, and now people from Italy are going to Japan or somewhere else, but Japan also has a tradition, history, and it is a culture for a big respect, not only Europe or something like that. And I understand your opinion, and but I also have that kind of opinion for your town. Because the Venice is one of my favorite towns because it is so different from our cities in Balkan, and because of that you have also that kind of experience when you came to Tokyo or some other cities. Okay, when I ask you for when I mention you his name on the one of the names on the list, I suppose that he is very modest man, even he is so famous architect or something like that.
Well, he's very humble and very kind, very easygoing. It's quite simple to work with him because again, his relation with the people of the office, all the employee, is very direct. Everyone has his number. We use like a line as and WhatsApp to talk with him. So it's very simple. Like you just send a message, and sooner or later you get the answer from him. So everybody get in touch with him, from the not just the partner like myself or the project manager, but also the
younger
architect. So everybody can get in touch with him, which I think is very important.
Yes.
And very it's a way to connect everyone with the heart of the office. I mean, again, everyone get the chance to talk to him, and that's really, really important.
Yes, understand.
And despite the fact that it's called Kengo Kuma Associates, is not, I don't feel it like an Archistar. It's more like we started as a atelier, almost looking like, and despite the size of the office, the idea is to keep the same kind of philosophy of an atelier. So he supervises every single project, so even if there are so many, and we made sure that he get to know what we are doing every single time. Normally, the meeting you have with him is like 10 minutes only. So you need to arrive to the point and making sure you ask the right question without, taking
excursions.
Yes, exactly. So yeah.
In medias res. Yes, because there is two types of management: American and Japanese. American is a manager is a boss that is outside of that floor where other employees are. They are team, but he is the boss. You can mail him, you can call him, but wait. But in Japan, the managers are with their employees, and they are functioning like a team, and he's just a leader of the team. And because of that, maybe that is the different school of functioning in one company, because it is like a family.
Yeah, it's not just that one. The important things, I think, in our office, that the approach is always bottom top. He's never designing, like giving us a sketch, please develop it. Actually, there is the opposite. We came to him with 6, 7 options for every special project. Yeah. And then he select maybe 3 of them, 2 of them, and then he say, please develop this, I like this one, I like the other one. So he's never imposing his point of view on the project. So everything comes from the team. And coming from the team, you have many, heads, many people with different kind of experience, and they have the chance to present to Kuma-san their own idea. So again, I think the good part of this is that, yes, he's a one man there, and the office really kind of get his name, of course, on the plate in front of the office. But in the end of the day, it's a big teamwork.
It is not one-man show.
Just one-man show, yes, it is not.
Yes. Let us talk about some projects that you are involved in Kengo Kuma's and associate studio. In Belgrade, we have projects and competitions for several museums. Thank God we have some competitions. Tell us more about Prosto,
DC Prosto.
Prosto Museum, Research Center, and Audeum Museum. Yes. Because I was reading about some of those places. One of them, the first one, was very interesting when I saw the interior, but another one was very interesting because of its concept. But tell us something about those projects.
Yeah, there are 2 museums that are very different from each other. One is just finished, the Audeum is in South Korea, Seoul. and the other one is in Japan and is rather old project. Well, relatively old. The concept of both are very different, but in a way similar, because what I like about both of them is like it's very the relation between interior and exterior is kind of similar. There is something that from the inside come outside, something from the outside come inside. But not just that one. When you think about a museum, normally it's an hermetic box, and the exterior is very different from the interior, because the interior you need like a white walls where to hang the painting, where you have
empty space.
Yes, like very fluid and white space. And this is totally different from what happened to GC Prosto Research Center and what happened to Audium. And the reason is that in GC Prosto, actually the interior and exterior coincide. It's the same thing. Because,
I saw that.
Because it's done with this technique called Chidori, and it's like an interlocking system of wood where there is no screws or glue used, but just this kind of very complex but very unique interlocking of elements in wood with a section of 6 by 6 centimeter.
6 by 6?
Yes, 6 by 6, all over the entire project. And you have this kind of complex grid that creates the entire facade, and the facade and the interior is the same. So you have this kind of transparency, but also this kind of feeling that you are in a forest, either inside and outside of the museum. And then the display of the items actually are resting on top of this grid done by the Chidori system. And that's the CG Prosto, I think, strong point of view. The other one, Audium, it's very recent. We just opened it. And the idea is to have this kind of feeling that you are inside a forest and the light is passing through the leaves and bouncing the light from one part to another one, because the facade is done with this kind of pipes in aluminum that reflects the light and give you this kind of feeling. And there are multiple layers of this light, of these pipes. So you have like the impression that the light is vibrant, is moving constantly.
The light is vibrant.
Yes. And the shadow is constantly changing, because again, it's multiple layers of pipes, one after the other one, and the size is different. And again, it's very unique. And this sort of facade enter to the inside of the building. So it constitutes not just the ceiling, but also the one main wall of the lobby. So it's very special. Plus, you need to think that, again, we don't use white walls in the museum, but we have one specific material that Kuma-san loves, which is wood. The wood is present in the lobby. We have this lobby, and he wanted to have something very tactile, but also you need to involve all the senses. You want to involve even the smell, the scents.
Even the smell.
Yeah, because they selected a specific type of wood from Alaska. And the wood was selected by the Alaskan wood was selected because the scents, the smell of the wood is very intense.
What kind of wood is this? Pine or what?
I don't remember, to be honest, but it's,
but the smell is
very unique.
Intensive and weird.
And this wood goes inside the exhibition room. So again, all the exhibition room is covered by the same wood, and all the elements are hanged on the wood. Again, the exhibition is related to sound, so it's not painting again, so there's a different kind of approach, and that is why. But again, I think it's a different way of looking the museum at the modern era, so it's quite unique, yes.
Yes, but very interesting that Kengo Kuma likes wood. And he wants to involve wood in as much as more projects.
Possible,
Yes.
Yeah. Well, wood is something that is more close to human being in a way. It's alive. It's he has like this kind of warm property. You feel like is more cozy, and it's something that concrete steel will never have. You know, this kind of feeling. Concrete and metal is very cold. You don't feel livable space in when you're surrounded by this material. So he likes material that are more close to the man. Yes. So he always says that, you know, we start with the material, then we pass to the detail, and then concept arrives.
Interesting concept.
Then the thing is, when you think about material first, doesn't mean that you want to do a building done in wood or you want to do a building done in steel or whatever. Starting about material means to start with the site approach. So to site specific, to think about what is around you, what is important for the context where you are. We did a project back in 2016 at Open, and then it's in a campus in PFL. A beautiful site with a nice view towards the lake. And Kuma-san, all the building around the campus is done in concrete. The building in front of us was done by Sana, and it's beautiful, but it's very massive in a way. It's a carpet of concrete. In a way, it's like moving. It's extremely beautiful. And then there is another block done by Dominique Perrault. And then our building is very long and narrow and is closing the plaza, so it's defining the plaza. And Kuma-san from the beginning said, we need to do something in wood. And everybody is saying, like, look, everything in the campus is made of concrete and steel. Yes, that's why. That we need something that is bringing back some traditional feelings and traditional material and some traditional way of treating the material in a way that is more close to human being. So he was saying, in a way, he was saying, it's not us that are doing a mistake, it's everybody else.
It's not us, it is everybody else.
Yes, so yeah, in a way, he's saying, we have so much wood in Switzerland that you can use. There is so much technique of using the wood. It's a pity that has not been used before. So we need to get back that tradition and use as much as possible this amazing material.
Yes, because I'm seeing in the last maybe 10 years what is happening in Balkans. The wood is cutting only for not only, but mostly for for the fire. For the fire. But you can make the furniture, you can make some pieces in interior and bring back, as you say, that kind of tradition, that kind of history of mankind, because in all the culture in the world, the wood was the basic of every culture, because all the pieces in the house, not only furniture but all other pieces were from wood. And nowadays we have wood only like like a plant in the corner. We are not using wood on the proper way. Maybe Italians from the 60s and 70s, when they were designing the furniture, they put some plastic, they put some colors and everything. But okay, revolution in that kind of design. But yeah, I like that kind of approach of the things. And then we are coming to another question that is connected to that. It is about climate changes. Climate changes are very important thing in Kengo Kuma and Associate Studio. Tell us more about that, because I think there are not so many studios that are involved in that concept.
Well, this is a topic that I'm really attached to, and for many different ways. My thesis also was related to climate changes, because it's something that really, I think, should be part of every project. Every project has an impact in this planet in a way. So you need to think about the fact that a building will last for a long time. So you need to think very well. You have a responsibility to the planet and to how you build a building. We have done a project recently, just open, just to give you an example about the approach and how we can deal with it. It's a project in Saudi. In Arabia Saudita.
Saudi Arabia. Okay.
Saudi Arabia, yes. And the project is quite important because it's located in a lagoon facing on the Red Sea. And as you know, a lagoon is always an environment that changes with the time. I'm coming from a lagoon. So
you're from lagoon.
Yes. So as you know, even in Venice, Serenissima was changing the course of the river in order not to arrive to the lagoon. Otherwise, the lagoon would become a pond, a dry land, and eventually would disappear. So the only way to preserve it was to diverge the course of the river. In the same way, also, that this delicate environment was present also in the lagoon in Saudi Arabia. So how to touch it, how to involve the project in this kind of delicate environment was the key. Our project there was a resort. And it was in this kind of pristine island, untouched, far away from everything, very desertic, in a beautiful and pristine water. And but there was a problem there, related to climate changes. The seabed was very flat, was very shallow. And the island was extremely flat. The highest point of the island was 70 centimeters above sea level. So
70 not even 1 meter.
No, you can imagine how flat and low the island is. And the problem with that one is that you can imagine that during the high tide and low tide,
there is no island.
No, the island there still exists. But the outline of the island changed quite a lot.
Shape.
When it's low tide, the island is very big. When it's high tide, the island is very small.
Of course.
Plus, the engineers, expert, was telling us, look, with climate changes, this island will disappear. In 20 years' time, this island will not exist anymore. So what do you do with that one? Do you accept that the island disappeared? Do you think about using a different way? Will you try to make the island survive? This was a topic that we start thinking about this topic for a while. And eventually we said, okay, if we do a project here, of course you need to save the island. And you need to decide what is the limit of the island to preserve. So we decide, okay, we preserve the island on the high tide line, the boundary line, and we have to do some sanding fill in order to rise up the level of the island. Yes. Well, a little bit becomes from 70 centimeters to 2.6 meters. So actually we raised up quite a lot. And it was the only way to preserve the island at least for 50 years. And also to protect the island for the storm, from the high waves and so on. So we decided to do so, and we had a resort now that has around 90 villas there. We were half of them in the land, half of them in the water. And even in the water, you need to take care and think about how the building is located above the level of the sea. So even there, we have to think about climate changes again, and storm, and the level where the building is placed above the sea level.
Sea level, yes.
So again, it's part of the process of thinking the building, is part of the process of thinking architecture, and it's one of the tools that you need to use in order to design right now. It's quite important, yes.
Great, great. And for the end, I don't know, is this your first time in Belgrade?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm very impressed about the city, but I have to say that I came here for the forum and for this podcast, so I didn't have time to check the city yet, but so far it's so good. So
far, so good.
Yes.
Can you maybe on the first look, can you maybe make some parallels between some towns that you saw, maybe in Italy? Not in Japan, because town like this cannot exist in Japan.
Well, towns in Italy seems to be way smaller. Belgrade actually is quite important, big cities. There is way more inhabitants than even bigger city like Milan or Rome. Like it's a big city, and you can feel it when you go around it. So you have this kind of feeling about a very diverse, very full of energy city. The location where I'm staying right now looks like the center of the city. It is
old center. Center.
And it's quite lively, very intense during the day, but also during the night. So you have this kind of feeling that the city is very alive.
Alive, yes. Very fast and alive.
Yes.
Is it like, in Venice it is not like that?
No, absolutely
because
not.
I was in Venice, and also I saw what is the tempo of living over there, but is it like that in Tokyo? Tokyo is a city that lives 24 hours, I think.
Tokyo never sleep. But,
never sleep.
Yes, but Tokyo is different from many ways. Here you still have the presence of where you are in the city. There is piazza, there is like, I was talking this morning with a professor at the University of Belgrade, and talking to him, he was telling me that there is a term in Italy that is called spiazzato. Spiazzato literally means without a piazza.
And without a piazza.
And it means literally when you are kind of lost and you don't find a point of reference, because the plaza, the square, is where you refer you to the city, where is the center of the city, where you feel
secure and you
can
orientate.
Yes, you can orientate. Tokyo is completely the opposite. There is no piazza in Tokyo.
There is no squares.
There is no squares in Tokyo. So, and there is no center. There is no feeling of a center of a city. The center of the city actually is a place that nobody goes. Is the it's the Imperial Palace, which is very hermetic. It's very closed.
Imperial Palace is a center, but it is behind those, walls or something like that.
I mean, you can access to just few places around the walls, but again, it's not a piazza, it's not a square, it's not a point where people meet. It's not an alive, let's say. And all around there is like multiple
centers, small centers.
I mean, I'm coming from one of them. My house is in Shinjuku, which is the busiest metro station in the world. There are like 5 million people passing to the station every day.
5 million?
Yes.
It is almost like whole Serbia is crossing.
Moving to a station.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the mass of people, how alive, how strong is the impact when you go there during especially during the rush hours. So again, there is a city without a center, is a city with multiple centers, and there is a city without a square. So again, you have this kind of impact that is completely opposite for a European city. So that's
traditional European city, yes. And when we are speaking about tradition, for the end, let us play. Did you learn how to play Go? Go. The tabla with black and white.
No.
No?
No. I play shoji with my son sometimes, which is Japanese chess.
Aha.
He loves it. I mean, he's 7, but he likes Japanese chess. And we play together, they are quite different from the
not European, but Euro-Asian chess.
Yes, the Euro-Asian chess. Actually, chess, as we know it here, they are born in India.
India and Persia, yes.
But there is some similarities, but in the same time, they are quite different. But those something that this kind of game is something that I enjoy. The black and white circle is something that I'm not familiar with, so maybe in the future we'll learn it.
You see, when I wanted to investigate some different culture, it cannot be some faraway culture. But if you want to explore something new, you must explore games that are played by the people in the public spaces.
Yes.
If you want to go to Cuba, you must learn how to play domino.
Yes.
If you want to go to, I don't know, Turkey or Greece or Bulgaria, you must know how to play tavla or backgammon. Like in Britain or New Zealand, or Australia, they are calling it backgammon because it was the back game from the chess. If you want to go to Russia, you must learn how to move, the pawns of the chess because you are in Russia. But for you, maybe on the first place, you can learn something about Go that is connected with a tradition, Japanese tradition. If you want to buy original Go, you can buy, a carton, and plastic, white and black pieces. But original table for the Go is from the special pine that grows in Japan.
Yeah, Chidori and
I don't know which one, but I know that is some...
Inoki.
Maybe. That is a pine that is from Japan, not from some imported wood. The black pieces are from volcanic rocks, and the white pieces are from the white seashells. And maybe
it's time to learn this game. I mean, I know my wife and my son again, they're playing this game, but I never got the chance to learn it. Maybe after this conversation, it will be my chance to go back to Japan and start learning it.
Maybe because all of this that you said to us, all that kind of connection with the tradition can be, the way to learn another game.
Yes.
Thank you, Nicola, and I hope that we will see each other maybe in Belgrade, but maybe in Tokyo.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.